Guys, J77 here doing a news blog update, something I've been aching to do now with the new year upon us. I might as well start on with the situation with Florida. This was sprung up by the Young Turks, and the Young Turks have actually had a good segment in terms of drug testing in various states, particularly in Florida. They brought up some very strong arguments and very strong points. And for me, I'm sort of understand where they're coming from on one hand, but on the other hand, I can also understand why not just Florida but other states are wanting to do this type of testing. The bottom line is fact is, especially in New York, which has been, talking about this for quite some time, but never really enforced it yet. And I think the reason why is because of what the Supreme Court has done. The Supreme Court has ruled Florida's drug testing is unconstitutional. I don't know if Florida's going to appeal it or not, but it does echo some situation for other states and how they're going to take this measure if they ever, or how they're going to enforce it or change the rules to make sure they don't have that same situation when it comes to them. Here's the situation with the Florida thing that bothers me the most. According to the Young Turks, the mayor, who I'm not a fan of, or the government, who I'm not a fan of many of those state officials, was profiting over these tests. Those who were on welfare and was testing for drugs, they were getting paid for that, which I think is something that should never happen occur. To me, that's another way for them. They make a law for the sole purpose of making a profit, and to me, I don't agree with on any circumstances whatsoever, and that's been the major problem with a lot of these laws, especially when it comes to private contractors. You have these guys actually making money off of this, something that I never agree on, period. And that's been the major issue coming into this situation. But here's the thing about this: in terms of drug testing itself, I may be one of very few, but I don't particularly care for it. And I mean, if they want to test it, it's their money, so be it. I understand the logic behind it, especially when some of the people who support it here, is that how can you really maintain a budget or maintain work when the jobs, and you all know this, most workplaces do drug testing. How can you if you can't pass that? How can you pass a working environment? You will lose a job automatically. So they don't want no one to put themselves in that position, and especially if they're giving money, they don't want that to be spent on something that should not have been spent. So in that situation, yeah, I can understand. I understand what the Young Turks are saying, that this is continuing to put down those who are pretty much already, down in the dumps, barely getting by. But at the same time, I'm looking at it from both sides, that you want to make sure if they're giving assistance, you want to make sure they're using the resources for the right reason. With that being said, with the Florida situation, I'm more upset at the fact that you got a guy here who made this law and it's profiting off the same law he has made, and that's something I think it should be more to attention than rather just the law itself, because other states have it. New York has been trying to push for it, and I don't think this is going to go away anytime soon. And for the state's point of view is, hey, if we're going to help these people, we got to make sure they stay clean and sober, period. What do you think about this? Do you think that the law in terms of drug testing is justified, not justified, unconstitutional, constitutional? Leave your comments below. I will leave a link to the Young Turks. It's a very good video. I want you guys to see if you guys have an opinion on it. But until then, J77, take care, be safe, Happy New Year.